come back to that story, but this now, ANC members and other aggrieved residents from the Free State are expected to march to the party's head office in central Johannesburg today. The group comprises victims of the failed asbestos project, Estina dairy and the 1 billion housing project in 2010. The group will deliver a memorandum of demands to the ANC's National Working Committee. The disgruntled members say they want to highlight the plight of ordinary citizens in the Free State who are being disadvantaged by the provincial government and its municipalities. For more on the story, let's cross live now to our colleague Natasha Phiri. Natasha, what can you tell us about where you are?
Quite a hype of activities around Luthuli House, Desiree. A number of groups are actually protesting today, and it's not only the ANC members within the Free State, but there's also another a group called a Crisis Committee on Housing that comes from Millerlands, and they're also here outside wanting to deliver a memorandum. But I'm actually joined by members of the ANC here in the Free State. They've travelled as early as 7 a.m. To come here to deliver their memorandum of demands. And of course, like you've correctly cited in your PVO, they're here to deliver a memorandum, I beg your pardon, of demands, citing that they're tired of corruption. They want more prosecutions in regards to the issue of the failed asbestos projects within the Free State. Quite interestingly so, the members of the NWC are actually meeting behind closed doors here at Luthuli House, Desiree. And of course, if you remember last week, members of the MKMVA here in Gauteng were actually, marching to this very spot that we're standing, delivering and wanting, Minister Balula, to actually be arrested. They've also, said that there are a number of things that the ANC has not implemented in terms of the resolutions. But let's just actually speak to this gentleman, Mr. Mitsweneng, to actually hear what he has to say. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. So you've come here all the way from the Free State, and what do you want from the ANC?
We have traveled all the way from Free State to come and highlight the plight of the Free Staters who have been dying in silence in terms of how they've been treated by the government of the Free State since 2009, when the then Premier of the Free State, the comrade Esma Khashula, who's today the SG of the ANC, has been handling the issues in that province. At one stage, there was an expectation from us that the same that has happened to Limpopo when the Limpopo government was put under administration by the then president on the basis of a deep infested corruption that has taken shape in that province. We were even the first province to highlight so many things that has happened as a result of corruption that was taking place in that province. And as a result, because of the power relations that existed then, there was nothing that was undertaken by national government as to whether the reasons were known to the powers that be. That is not what we knew then. But today we are elated as the Free State members of the ANC in particular, that the NEC has taken a stance to fight corruption irrespective of anybody's position in the organization. And as a result, what has been the consistent expose at the Zondo Commission gives us pride that indeed whatever that we have been complaining about, it is now in the public domain, to an extent that at least those who are fingered in wrongdoing, they must be held accountable. And as a result, we are supporting the NEC stance. We are supporting the letter that was written to all ANC members by the president to say we must shape up, or we must have an understanding as members of the ANC that the integrity of the ANC is what we must ultimately be we must be protecting. Now, that in itself says to us we are called as genuine members of the ANC to come and say to the leadership here, we support the stance that you have taken as the NEC, and we also want a decisive leadership to those who have created an organization within the organization masquerading under the guise of an RET, which is a position or a resolution that was taken by the National Conference of the ANC, but it is now factionalized. The ANC has committed to change the material conditions of its people and ultimately look into the economic situation of the black masses of this country. But that program is being factionalized by those who are now calling themselves the RET, as if the NEC of the ANC is not implementing the decisions of the conference. Ultimately, what do you want to see happening with those who had done, in as far as the Estina project is concerned in the province, in as far as the asbestos project is concerned in the province, in as far as plethora of corrupt activities that are in the public? We want to demonstrate that to the leadership to take action against those who are fingered. Part of the action that we are looking for is indeed to implement the decision which was taken by the National Executive Committee that those who are not even allegations, those who are facing court proceedings as a result of corruption, they must step aside. Those who are alleged to have participated in wrongdoing, they must go to the integrity.
Are you not happy with the recent arrests in connection with the asbestos project? We
are not happy because small fishes are being attended to. We want the mastermind here in Luthuli.
Who's the mastermind?
He knows himself. I can't speak of the person's name, but he knows himself. He's here in the Luthuli house.
So you just mentioned Esmakashule's name?
Yes.
And he's the mastermind behind this?
Yes, obviously there are the claims, and he's also needed at Zondo Commission. His name has been throughout in Zondo Commission and in public in the media. And he led the executive as a premier, which obviously officiated or ran over this asbestos thing, freed the thing. My brother was a bit light. So we came here with those beneficiaries from asbestos houses. So who are saying the former premier, with every claim that has been made against you in relation to those issues of asbestos, can you account? And the leadership must actuate their decision that everybody must step aside who has been alleged in corruption and wrongdoing. But I want to emphatically say that SG of the ANC, given all the claims that has been done, he must step aside.
This comes at an interesting time. I mean, quite 2 weeks ago, there were reports of an arrest, imminent arrest against Esmakashule. Do you want to see accountability? Do you want to see him arrested? I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I think part of promoting the rule of law in our country would want to say law enforcement agencies must do their work without fear and favor. And even if SG has to be arrested, he has to be arrested. Law enforcement agents must do their work, and then he will explain everything he wants to explain at the court of law and even at Zondo Commission.
You also claim that there are bogus members, ANC members within the Free State province. Please elaborate on that.
No, bogus members, bogus branches, even regions of the ANC. Look, you'd remember that we have been contesting against the provincial conference that was 80 minutes in 2018 at Ilanga Estate. We say, yeah,
since 2012, this kind of problems in the ANC.
Exactly.
Where you have that conferences of the ANC, when it sits, the actual members of the ANC are not being considered. Bogus databases are created, and then these people go to the conference under the auspices of being ANC members. They will even take somebody who sells fruits and veg on the street, who has never had a who has never been a card-carrying member of the African National Congress. This person is being taken, given a certain name, and then this person participates in a conference of the African National Congress. And at this conference, lists are getting imposed by a certain individual or a certain faction will impose their own people, hold a conference that has no resolutions whatsoever. We are still waiting for the 2018 resolutions of the Free State Provincial Conference. We still want to see them. We went to Nasrec, we came back with many resolutions in Nasrec. Free State as a province in 2018, they held a provincial conference the same time as a rugby match should go, 80 minutes. I've never seen that. They've made history. They've made history, but today they are leaders who are being recognized. We would love the NEC to attend to such matters as well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let me just cut this crossing shorts. There's no form of social distancing here behind me, but there you have it, members of the ANC in the Free State wanting, the memorandum of demands to actually be met with. Strong words here from these members. From the Free State, them saying that they want accountability. They want the Secretary General of the ANC, Estina, to be arrested in what they call alleged corruption, as the Free State Premier in his tenure. With that said, let me just cross back to you, and we will definitely speak to you at a later stage.
Natasha Phiri there outside Luthuli House. Let's go back to the